My first memory in life was me driving my dad's 219 Mercedes.
You're also the president of the Mercedes-Benz Club of South Africa.
So I became involved. I joined the Mercedes Club in 1996.
It's going to be a huge show, over 1,000 cars that are going to be on display.
From the Mercedes side, 8 of the 9 300 SLs in the country. There's after hours, doesn't matter what time of night you do the work. One must just persevere and believe in yourself.
So I call it the Benz bug. When would you say the Benz bug bit you first?
Well, I've been telling the story quite often. My first memory in life was me driving my dad's 219 Mercedes. I was 2 years old and I was not supposed to remember it.
Yeah.
But he towed a caravan over the Prince Albert Pass. And I can remember a car coming from the front and we had to squeeze past him and so on. And it was actually a terrifying trip. And we made it, and I do remember it. And from then on, it's been Mercedes my whole life.
Your whole life, right?
Yes.
And so there's also then the story I heard about the first car you bought after your studies. Tell us a little bit about that car. What was it like in that Mercedes-Benz 1965?
Okay, I bought the 1965 after starting my practice here in George. And I wanted an old car to use every day. And I went to Cape Town to a garage there that had old cars, and I was going to buy a Ponton. And then I saw this car, the Fintal there, and I thought, okay, maybe that's a little bit more modern, easier to use.
Yeah.
And I bought a car, and never knowing what I've actually bought. And I've bought a very rare long wheelbase 300 SE Mercedes with air suspension and everything.
Yeah.
And that's how the collection started.
Where does your actual journey start? Before the passion of Mercedes, all of that?
When I grew up, he had Mercedes, and I remember when I was at high school, he had a 450 SL, and I've actually drove that car more than what he did, and so on. So it was, it was always nice driving them. And then I studied, and I always thought one day I'm going to buy myself a Mercedes. And
outside of being an enthusiast, you're a trained professional radiologist, you had your own practice. So there's a passion for helping people and contributing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I studied medicine and then specialized in radiology. What I loved about radiology was the technology.
Yeah.
Also, so
it's very technical.
There's a connection between the cars and so on, CT scanners, how it moves, how it works and so on. So I really enjoyed that part of the business and so on. And then, dealing with patients, helping people. And, I did it for 35 years.
35 years.
Yes.
And so, we spoke about this earlier, hard work. Hard work it's a lot of hard work to build a collection like this. It's a lot of hard work in your field. What are some of those lessons you've learned over that course about how important it is to stick to the plan?
Yeah, you've got to persevere. Once you started the practice, you must make it work. And there's after hours, doesn't matter what time of night you do the work. You understand? When I started, I was only myself in the practice. So I've worked for 2 years, 24 hours a day, did all the after hour works and so on. And one's got to try, one must do the best you can.
Yeah.
And that is meaning you put in the hours you work.
Literally, put in the hours that you work.
Yeah.
Also the president of the Mercedes-Benz Club of South Africa. What has that journey been like? This is South Africa and you have a collection. It must feel amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing owning the cars, but what do you do with the cars? You sit by yourself in the garage
and just look at them.
Look at them. I mean, that's very soon it's going to become boring. So I became involved. I joined the Mercedes Club in 1996. Since 2006, I've been involved with the committee of the club. I was first membership secretary. I was the chairman of the Southern Cape region. And then since 2016, I've been president of the club. In the club itself, we've got 3 major events. We've got our annual AGM and national gathering, and the regions all do take a turn of hosting it. We've got our national concourse every year in Johannesburg. And then the George Show is a major part as well.
Yep. I love that segue to the Old Car Show that's coming up this February. You also happen to be the chairperson of the Southern Cape Old Car Club. I am sure you're so excited for that. It's going to be a huge show, over 1,000 cars that are going to be on display. What could people look out for? What are some exciting stuff to look forward to?
Yeah, this year we're doing our special theme is the German cars. From the Mercedes side, we will have 8 of the 9 300 SLs in the country.
Yeah, which is a big.
We'll have the new SL there. We're getting the 1901 Ideal Benz from the Crank Handle Club. That is the oldest car in the country. And then we will have my Benz. So those 3 Benzes in the country will be at the show.
Wow.
We'll be getting a huge collection of Porsches coming, Volkswagens. We'll have some interesting BMWs, Borgwarts, DKWs, just to be in the German side of things.
Classics.
And then we've also been putting in quite an effort to get classic motorbikes.
Okay, nice.
So at the moment we've got 59 motorbikes registered for the show.
Okay.
A few Vespas. And then every year before the show, Philip Kushke is organizing the Vet Tour for the veteran cars. So I think we've got 30 plus cars, 1930 and older, coming to the show again. So those are the major things. But, we've got almost 1,000 cars registered.
Wow.
And they're coming from all over the country. It's from Limpopo, Northern Cape. People are coming down. There's 3 cars coming from Namibia to the show. There's a guy from Canada that's coming to taking in the Vet Tour and so on. So yeah, it's actually an international show now.
It's international, yeah. It's beyond just garden roots or South African base. It's international.
Yeah.
I just thought about this now. So obviously with cars, there's a beauty to the car and the functionality, but there's something beyond that, I'm sure, that it means to an enthusiast like you. It's not just about how fast does it go or how does it look. So what would you say that thing is? What's that feeling that it brings you, especially in the context of Mercedes?
You're a custodian of the car. You're not really, you eventually it will pass on to somebody else.
Right? Ooh, I never thought about that. It's not yours forever. It's like there's a culture to it.
Yeah.
So it's more than just ownership, it's culture.
Yeah, you're looking after it for somebody else one day.
One day, take care of it so that the next person can enjoy it. You've traveled through a long journey. I'm sure there have been pitfalls, many highs, many lows. What would you say to people currently going through the lows, seeking to one day be in a position where they overcome those? What would you say to some of those people?
I think one must just persevere and believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Try your best, put the hours in, it will happen.
It will happen. Wow. So, you said it's hard to pick a favorite, but then I really want to know. Tell us a little bit about this car that we're sitting in. What's the story? You mentioned that there's a story behind, most of these cars. What's the story behind this car? Tell us a little bit about that.
I was sitting one day in my office and I just received the club magazine. That's before all the electronic media things and so on. And I saw this ad for this car being sold in Durban. And I immediately on the phone and I said, I want to buy it. And I phoned my friend in Cape Town and I said, we must go and have a look. And I said, and the guy asked me how much the guy wants for the car. And I told him what he said. Buy the car, the parts are worth more than it. And so I flew down Friday afternoon to Durban.
Beautiful.
10 o'clock that night, I got the car.
Oof.
Next morning, 7 o'clock, when I left Durban, I thought, okay, I must just fill up with petrol. And I checked the water and I opened the radiator and there were no water in the radiator. So I thought, what to do now? So it's okay, we fill it with water and we start driving now. Keep on looking at the temperature
Just
gauge.
making sure.
And we went past Pietermaritzburg, and when we got to Escort, I thought, no, I need to check the water now. And I stopped at the fueling station, pulled the lever for the bonnet, and there the cable broke. Ooh. So now I'm stuck and I can't open the bonnet. So
and are you alone?
I'm all alone.
All alone.
So all of a sudden I thought, yeah, that's not typical me. All I rush to go and buy a car. And so I decided, okay, it's not heating up, so we'll keep driving.
Oh my.
And I got to Bloemfontein, Bethlehem, just before 12. I
Okay.
thought, okay, now I better buy some tools because I didn't take any tools with me. So I bought a very long screwdriver and I opened it and there was a small leak. So we filled a radiator sealant in and I drove back all the way to George.
Wow.
And 3 years later, after cutting out all the rust, this is the car that I got now.
So what model is this?
This is a W111 250 SE Cabriolet.
Wow. So beautiful with everything leather, the dashboard beautiful. This is a true definition of a classic. During the journey of life, have there been other cars you owned other than the Mercedes, or it's always been straight Mercedes?
I've once owned a Land Rover.
Okay. I heard a number, so you confirm for us. I heard over 50 that you have in your private collection.
I had 50 at
Okay.
some stage in my collection. I sold my lorries. I think there's 41 in the collection now.
Okay. What model is this, and what is that special story?
This is a 1971 W109 300 SEL 6.3. This car used to be belonged by the King of Lesotho, King Moswege. And this car's got the partitioning between the front and rear seats, and they reckon only about 12 of these cars were ever built.
Okay, so now we're going to a very classic part. These are stored differently. Is there any particular reason why?
Well, I built this garage. First it was completely glass for the old Benz. But then I bought the others and I had to enlarge it. So lots of people from all over the world buying the Rollses and the Bentleys the guy had. And nobody was interested in this car, so I bought it.
Does it still run?
It does run. It's got a small technical problem at the moment, but hopefully in a week's time it will be fixed. Like I said, my wife is driving it.
Is there a special name for this one?
She calls it Benzie or something.
Yeah.
This is a 1938 320,
Wow.
type 320. There's only 11 of these cars in the world left over.
What?
Yes,
Only 11.
only 11.
To give the audience or the viewers an update, which car are we currently in?
This is a 1969 W100 600 Mercedes.